I'm going live. Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I'm so happy to be here with you. If it is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time here, welcome back. I'm so happy to get to have this time with you today. I'm going to go through just a quick rundown of how the next hour is going to go, and then we'll get right into our tapping session. So, what we are doing is called EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping. So, if you know what that is, you're in the right place. If you don't know what that is, it is a grouping of techniques used for relieving overwhelm and trauma from the body, and being able to focus your brain and your nervous system all at one turning point where they all agree, okay, this is safe to shift. So even if you don't know what I'm talking about, but that sounds lovely, please stick around and you'll pick it up as we go along. Now, given that this is a little bit of a unique circumstance, you're not sitting right in front of me, going back and forth, the communication is a little bit limited. So I don't typically go through all of the tapping points. And there's two reasons for that. One, I want to be as boring as possible. I am here to be a guide for you, but I want you to begin to listen as much as you can to your own intuition, because everything that's happening for you will happen within your own body. I am here 100% for your support, but you will actually know if there's a better option for you. If I offer a word and you think of a better word, please use that. If we're tapping here, but you really want to tap here or here, rub the sore spots, tap on the finger points. Those are a little bit more advanced tapping places, but if you feel that, I want you to feel empowered to do that. So if I'm boring and I'm sitting here tapping here the whole time or here the whole time, it's going to give you the opportunity to do that rather than worrying about following where I am and wondering, would that have been a better choice for me? The second reason is because you only need one tapping spot. For the very small scope of we are utilizing an acupoint for EFT, one will do. So if you're having sinus pressure, you're sick, you don't want to tap on your face, it's triggering to do that, don't worry about that. Use the tapping spots that feel right for you. And it's okay to not use, right in order and do the whole set. It's okay. Alrighty. And if you want to contribute as we go along, I do have a live chat, which I will say hi to everybody in just a minute, where you can throw in anything you want to tap on at any point. I do my very, very best to acknowledge all of the suggestions and to incorporate them as I can. We do only have an hour. But if I do choose something that doesn't quite fit for you as a tap, I will give you suggestions on how you can maybe adjust it to make it fit better for you so that you still have a really good release and experience of this community within this given time. Okay. One last thing. And if you have a suggestion you would like to know how to tap on, but it just feels too vulnerable to put it out there on the internet in front of everyone, you can always email me. My email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it. It is Fable, FABLE, at EFTuniverse.com. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to email me as a resource for you. At EFT Universe, what matters most is that our people, our community, our students are empowered. We want you to know how to use these tools with confidence. Okay? All right. So, with that, I'm going to say hi in the chat, and then we will take just a moment to get grounded, and then we will begin. Oh, I forgot to say, if you email me, I'll bring it up the following week anonymously so that you can see how to tap on it. And I don't have any community emails this week. So I can't show you a demonstration of that, but that is what will happen. Okay. Hello, Diane. See, has anyone done tapping for ADHD? Rex plays havoc with my life. Yes. Tracy Otsuka, who is an author, she's a pretty big author on talking about particularly women in ADHD, but she is a student of Dawson's and highly promotes tapping and utilizing it. So we can maybe incorporate that today, but if we don't, Tracy Otsuka, I think it's Otsuka. But she does ADHD for smart ass women is the name of her book. So just Google search that and she'll pop up. Hi, Amanda. I'd like to tap on releasing limiting beliefs. Awesome. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you're here. Hi, Zarina. That's an interesting question. Wouldn't mind knowing about that too. Oh, for ADHD. Okay. Both of them seem cool to tap on. I both limiting beliefs and ADHD. You too, sister. Hi, Heather in Rockport, Texas. Glad to have you here. ADD traits. Yeah. Yay, yay. Hi, Dr. Scott. Nice, nice. Lots of support for the suggestions so far. Hi, Joyce. So glad that you're here. Hi, Trisha. Yay. I did enjoy mine. Oh, Thailand has my heart. Love that place. Definitely going back. Hi, Nancy. Okay, some tapping points for melting down about politics. Absolutely. Melting down is a vibrant phrase. But Nancy, if there are any words that give me an idea of like, how does that make you feel? Like, what decisions are you making about because of the meltdown? Like, I'm hopeless, I'm helpless, I'm vulnerable, things like that. Those tend to light up better in our own brains. Hello, Mary. Chronic pain, got it. Thank you for your suggestion. Hi, Tanya, for your suggestion. Hi, Tanya. So glad to have you here. Oh, Dr. Scott, I have Tracy's website. Awesome. Dr. Scott, if you want to post the link to our website just in the chat so that whoever wants to access it can, I would really appreciate that. And Trisha, tapping suggestion difficulties, getting back to reality after the summer. That's fair. And Amanda, another suggestion of burnt out paralysis. Yeah, burnout paralysis. I said burnt out. I don't know if there's a difference. Just in case, I said them both. Nancy suggests anxiety. Hi, Danette. Let's go, Kimosabi. Hello. Tapping on tridentity and gratefulness and hope. Thank you for that. Tapping on feeling helpless regarding helping aging family member in need, but not compliant. Oh, that's so hard. I have that struggle as well. Alrighty, let's get grounded. Thank you for all of the suggestions. I'm so happy for this community and that all of you already have like a place to voice things. Like that already is just making my heart really grateful, because that can be a big part of it, is just having someone who really cares to receive what's happening. So alrighty, to get grounded, let's just kind of wiggle our bodies before we do anything else. Notice how you feel. And we're just noticing, kind of gathering information. We're not worrying about doing anything with it yet. But as you move your body or go, I don't want to move my body, are you anxious? Are you, do you have tension? Are you kind of all over the place, scattered? Or are you feeling very lethargic and kind of just numb and really low level base of energy? What space do you feel yourself in right now? Your body, your mind, your emotions. Okay, and with that awareness and questions, let's take a breath. Okay, and with that knowledge, just look at our feet. Wherever your feet are, just look at them. Doesn't matter if they're in socks, in shoes, if they're tucked up underneath you, just whatever part you can see is fine. You don't have to necessarily move, but just notice and become aware of the energy in your feet. Notice if it feels buzzy, if it feels like anything, even if you're like, I don't know, what does energy feel like in feet? That's okay too. Just notice. And then now come up to your knees and look all the way down from your knees down to your feet. Just, again, we're just noticing the body, noticing if there's any feelings here. Maybe you have some tension, some physical pain, maybe some restlessness, or you're just noticing like, ooh, that's a lot of hair. That's some dry skin. Whatever it is that you notice, Just allow the thoughts. Okay, and now let's go up to our hips and trace down from our hips, just with our eyesight or in your mind's eye, down from your hips to your knees, to your ankles, to your toes. You're just noticing the energy, noticing that there's a body. Observations. Let's take another breath. Okay, now we're going to come up to the heart level, and go down and notice ribs, hips, knees, ankles, toes. Every time I think about my ribs and I draw my energy down, I don't know why, but in my brain I go like it's a xylophone down my ribs. And just notice the energy from your heart level and downwards as you trace that energy down and out your feet. And let's take a breath. And now from the heart, let's notice the shoulder to the elbow to the fingers. And just trace that energy down on both sides. And again, we're just noticing the body, feeling the energy in that space. You're looking at your shoulder. Oh, yeah, it's about the size I thought my shoulders were since the last time I looked at them. Yeah, there's that elbow. It's still there, both sides. Notice if you've got any tension, cramping, pain, stiffness. Even if it feels fine, notice that. Be like, hey, that actually feels pretty good in there right now. Let's take a breath. And now from our hearts, up our neck, around the head, just feel the energy in there. If you're in front of a mirror and you want to look so that you can also just observe physically, you can do that. But otherwise, just imagine, just notice this part of your body and the energy that feels it and fills it, feeling and filling. And let's take another breath. And just for a couple more seconds, notice from your head to your toes, from your heart out your arms, the energy all over. Kind of put all of those pieces that we thought about individually all together in one piece. Okay, good job. Alrighty, so in getting tapping today, getting started tapping, let's see, sorry, a few more suggestions came through. I just want to recognize them real fast. Oh, thank you, Dr. Scott, for putting that in. Okay, and Amanda said lethargic. Is what you're feeling. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I think let's start really broad. Let's start really broad with I don't feel well. And I want you to translate that in whatever way matches you right now. And there may be multiple places where you can apply that, right? Because maybe you've got a cold and impending doom, in your body at the same time. Just pick one. And it doesn't have to be the biggest one. There doesn't need to be a reason for it. Just select one and feel confident that it's going to do well for you. But I don't feel well. Okay. And that could be, I don't feel well because of the anxiety over what's happening in our society, in our world right now. I don't feel well because I have chronic pain and I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't feel well because I am so stressed about how do I take care of someone who doesn't want to be taken care of, and I don't have any control over that. So whatever way you can apply it that fits for you. Finish that thought of, I don't feel well. Okay, let's go ahead and start tapping. As I allow myself to have some time and space and community to focus inward and to have a conversation with myself, a kind conversation with myself about why I do not feel well. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, as I begin this conversation about why I do not feel well, and it brings up a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though, as I begin this conversation and acknowledgement of I do not feel well and I don't have any solutions for it yet, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. I do not feel well. I do not feel well in my body. I do not feel well in my mind. I wonder, what are my expectations to feel well? What would actually need to happen for this statement, this truth that I currently have, to be different? Is it that it has to be perfect? That I consider this to be a problem and for me to be unwell because of it until it's absolutely ideal for me? As I consider what would need to change for this perspective, this truth to change, I deeply and completely accept myself. Well, that is the most ideal, of course, for it to be 100% resolved. I don't know why I would want anything less than that. Okay, this isn't about what I want, though. I fully accept that I do want a complete resolution, that I want a 100% solution. And that's great. I fully support receiving that. What I am curious about is there a way for me to feel more positive about it when it's not 100% yet? Oh, yes, no, I don't know. Even if right now I'm not certain how or why I would feel more positive before I have my full solution. I hold space to be curious about this. Maybe I've tried to be positive and think positive and do positive things, and it just takes up more energy. It just uses up more of my time without being a real solution. So why bother? Hmm. Maybe I'm worried that if I start being positive and making statements to myself that I don't think are true, like it's just around the corner or it's coming to me now, uh, then that'll be delusional. And either I won't get the real solution because I'm just sitting in a delusional fog, or it'll hurt and I'll feel foolish because of trying this and it won't have worked anyway. Hmm. Even if I have some of these or other concerns about exploring feeling more positive or acknowledging incremental shifts before I actually have my solution, I deeply and completely accept myself. It makes sense because maybe I've had someone tell me and teach me how foolish that is. Maybe I have tried before and it didn't turn out well. And I did feel foolish and hurt. And I don't want to set myself up for that again. Whatever reasons that I may have for this curiosity that I'm currently exploring to not feel like a good idea, I fully acknowledge it. And I acknowledge any and all past experiences that are connected to it. I wonder, is there any other way that I could potentially approach this that would meet all requirements? Yes. No way. I have no idea, but I'm intrigued. Even though I may not know the answer to this question yet, I'm open to looking into it. Okay. How? How could I possibly meet all of the requirements of this? I don't feel well. I don't feel like I have complete control of the whole problem. So, how do I answer everything that I hold important in this problem without having the full solution? Hmm. Answering my problem, finding my solution. I wonder, what if I looked at those as two different things? I have a problem and I'm looking for a solution. Okay, tell me more. Well, what if I identify my problem as I feel discouraged and I want to not feel discouraged? Or I feel tired and worn and I want to not feel tired and worn. And maybe it's a temporary solution. Maybe it's giving myself permission to talk to a friend, focus on positive media for a while, take a nap, take a bath, and maybe it doesn't give me my 100% solution, but maybe I can solve a problem that lives within the hunt of that solution. Interesting, but why would I do that? Okay, why would I do that? Well, it would feel really good to find any amount of relief, to figure out how to offer myself any amount of support would feel really good. It's a good reason. And if I had little bits of peace and support, wouldn't that re-energize me? Wouldn't that allow me to have more resource as I look for my full solution? That's likely. And what if I don't quite reach my full solution in the way that I want? But along the way, I've built up strengths, practices that allow me to release problems. Because things change, things shift, things that I have no way of predicting right now. And doesn't it make sense to have a tool set, a practice of making small positive adjustments that can adapt with me, especially if the solution I'm working so hard for right now changes track? Ooh, yeah. Changing track. My solution. Feeling unwell. Solving problems. And as I allow myself to try this out, to see about resolving some of these smaller problems, I might be really good at it. And I might not be any good at it at all. But as this is a trial, as this is a curiosity, I'm just giving it a try. I give myself permission to be both good and bad at it, and to notice if I have a positive shift, and continue accordingly. I am unwell. I'm looking for my solution. I can identify problems, providing solutions to the problems. And as I allow myself to give this a try. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause tapping and take a breath. Now take just a moment and think to yourself, I am unwell. And notice how that feels now. And think about how it felt when we first started. It's probably still there, and that's okay. But notice, is there more space in your body? Do you feel tingly? Do you feel a little more positive for some reason? Does it feel smaller when you feel it hit your body when you say it? Were you sighing, crying, yawning? Did you get energetic? Did you calm down? Did you get hot flashes? Are you thirsty? Do you have to run to the bathroom? All of these are signs that your subconscious parts of your brain are listening to what your conscious brain was offering. And some part of it said, ooh, I liked that one. I think that can be helpful. Let's shift some things in here. And that's going to keep working, even though you're no longer tapping on it. So good job. Alrighty, let's figure out what we're going to do next. Hello, Karen. Hi, Ida. Hi, John. What part of your chat, Serena? I think I've seen where you've typed in. Yay, I'm so glad. Way to go, Tanya. Let's look into let's talk about moving into the end of the year. So this is based off of what Trisha suggested and the difficulties of getting back to reality after the summer. But we can expand that to, the end of the year. And of course, where you are in the world, it's going to look a little bit different. And culturally too. Did you have expectations of yourself by the end of this year? Did you set goals that you have realized and maybe it didn't feel as good as you thought it would, or you haven't realized them and you blame that for being the reason that, now that's why I'm in this place. Do you have anxiety going into the season that you're going into? If you're going into winter and it getting cold and darker, is that comforting to you? Or do you have like the seasonal affective disorder where it more feels like depression, where it feels more like grief, do you have responsibilities that you're jumping into that give you anxiety of expectations, maybe work-wise, to meet by the end of the year? Are you concerned about, all of the holidays coming up that happen at the end of the year? There's a lot of different ways to look at this. So in focusing in on your perception of it's the middle of September, what do I feel about that? And if it's positive, great. You don't have to find something negative. Tapping on something positive is incredibly empowering. In fact, we'll do that for after this one. We're going to focus specifically on something positive. I want you to experience that. But for this one, it can go either way. It can even be neutral. Okay. We're just going to explore how to feel better. Wherever we're starting from, we're going to explore how we're going to feel better about the end of the year. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and start tapping. Oh, Trisha and John are announcing the hard truths of where we are for this end of the year. So if you're having those realizations as well, let's get into a better spot. Okay. As I consider the time of year, the passing of time that's already happened, that it's almost 2026, and I consider how this year has gone so far. I deeply and completely accept myself. And as I consider what's left of this year in time, what's left of this year in tasks to complete, to engage, and what I have left, what's left of me to apply to the rest of this year. As I consider all of this, I deeply and completely accept myself. And as I allow space for all of my thoughts, all of my emotions about this year and what's to come for the rest of it, I choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself. This year, the rest of this year, I wonder, as I consider my thoughts surrounding the rest of this year, am I being fair? What do I mean by fair? What does that even mean? Well, am I thinking of things that I'm worried about? Am I thinking of things that I'm responsible for? Am I thinking of pressures that I feel? Am I considering opportunities that I've missed? Probably. Okay. Am I considering wonderful things that could come true? Am I considering exciting interactions? Am I considering all of the possibilities? Maybe, maybe not. As I ask myself questions about what I'm focusing on, as I consider the rest of this year, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, do I feel safe to think positively? Do I feel like this year so far has allowed me that? Has it given me that? Has this year provided me the space to feel safe for positive thinking? Yes, No, I don't know. Whether or not I'm clear on the space that this year has offered me so far in terms of how I'm going to feel about the rest of it, I wonder if I could have a conversation with this year, if I could speak to it as if it were a person here with me, what would I say to it? What would I say to this year? Would I tell it, "You're insane. What are you thinking? You are grounded. Go to your room." Would I express grief or anger? Would I express fear, concern? What would I say to this year and how I've been affected by it? Hmm. I wonder if, when I was done expressing myself, what would the year say back to me? If it were a person standing in front of me, would it say, "Yeah, this year's been hard, and I'm so sorry it's been so hard for you too"? Would it express grief with me? Would it express fear as well? I wonder if I could see time as my friend and the passing of time as my companion, would that help me feel like it's a little bit more safe to be positive? Like it's a little more safe to push back when it's difficult, to rebel with joy, to carve out space for meaningful moments, and feel like 2025 supports me in that. That the passing of time begs me to do that. Because maybe positive moments are impactful, positive in the moment, positive after the moment because of the recall, and positive because of the outward wave of positive energy that's boundless, that I have no idea how far it could go. And maybe the rest of this year won't be all that. And I do still have to manage all of my thoughts and feelings and navigate the impacts of what's happening as this year continues. But if I have my friend, time, who is reminding me, have a good experience today. Have a good experience this week. Make time for that amazing experience this month. Then maybe, just maybe, I can trust in the good things that are also included in what's left in this year. This year, my time left in this year, my friend time, my trusted companion, and as I allow myself to be accompanied by this friend as I finish out the rest of this year, I deeply, as I finish out the rest of this year, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, go ahead and pause and take a deep breath. Good job. Now think just really quickly about the rest of this year. How does that feel? How's it feel in your body and in your mind now? Think about how it felt when we first started tapping. We were talking about how we're towards the end of this year. And if there's a difference, if you felt those shifts in your body, if you felt oh, I had never thought of it that way, or, ooh, it feels good to think of it that way. And now you still feel that in your body. That is your subconscious brain saying, yes, I agree with this. This is what we got from now on. And it will continue to support you with that, even if you're no longer actively thinking about it, which is amazing. So good job. All righty, let's move my own stuff here. Let's get into our positive tap. And trying to come up with a phrase, something like, I believe in good things. But that the reason why I'm not going with that is there's too many triggers that can happen in that phrase. So I want to look for something that feels a little bit more neutral, even if the words themselves are positive, that aren't maybe connected to limiting beliefs. I believe in good, maybe. Good outcomes are possible. I see I've missed some comments. Happy birthday to Lou. Let's do this. I allow good in my body. I choose to allow good in my body. Let's do that. Okay. And my arms are tired. I did some stuff around the house yesterday, and so my muscles are complaining today. Having to decide what spot I can tap on and maintain it. Okay. As I allow myself to focus in and gift myself this positivity, the positivity of I allow good into my body. I deeply and completely accept myself. I allow good into my body. I allow good into my body. I wonder, what do I mean by good? Like good, better, best? Am I accepting the bottom tier here? No, I mean good as in whole, as in complete. Good meaning all encompassing, meaning every possible good scenario, good outcome, good thought, good intention. I allow all of these things to connect with my energy, to connect with my body. And I agree to be integrated with good vibes. And I allow myself to receive good, even though I'm not perfect. I allow myself to receive good, even though I'm going to make more mistakes. I allow myself to receive good, even if I have the worst mood and I have the worst thoughts and I don't feel worthy and I don't feel worthy. Even then, even through that discomfort, I agree right now to choose to feel my way through that discomfort and receive good anyway. I allow good to come to me in the form of good feelings. I allow good to come to me in the form of good messages. Messages from people I know, from people I don't know, direct messages, and indirect messages. I give myself permission to receive all forms of good messages that are reaching for me. I choose to reach back to connect with them, even though it may be an imperfect reach, even though it might be an inconsistent reach. It might be a hesitant reach. It might be a doubtful reach. Even if it's the best I can do to just kind of, sort of, maybe hold space for good. I trust that it's enough. And I allow myself, I give myself permission to receive good in my body, to receive good into my mind, into my emotions, into my heart. I wonder, why am I emphasizing receiving good so much? I wonder, why would I question receiving good? Why would I question receiving something that feels so nice and comforting and supportive, especially if it's readily available? If all it needs is my permission for me to receive it, why would I put barriers between me and that? Why would I put barriers between me and that? It's possible. I know why. And it's possible I have an idea why, but maybe not all of the reasons. Whether or not I'm clear about why I would block receiving good right now, as I am, I give myself permission to start with this moment, to try it with no strings attached, no history attached, no assumptions connected. Just right now, this moment, full permission to receive good. And maybe it will be a mistake and I'll stop trying. Or maybe I'll feel bad about it and I won't want to keep doing it. But also, maybe it'll be exactly what I need. Maybe it will be really healing for me. Maybe this is exactly what parts of me have waited a really long time for. Receiving good, giving myself permission to receive good. And as I receive this good into my body, into my thoughts, into my heart, I wonder, what does it feel like? What does good feel like to me? What does good feel like in my body? Does it feel different in different parts of my body? Does good feel different to my heart than it does to my feet? Does good feel different to my lungs than it does to my bladder? My bladder? Have I ever given good to my bladder? Huh, maybe there's more to explore here than I thought. Maybe I've been so obsessed with wondering if I deserved good or how to earn good, I've never even asked all these other questions about it. Well, I give myself permission to ask them now. What does good feel like to my blood, to my cholesterol, to my muscles? What does good feel like to my worries? What does good feel like with my inner voice? Mm, can my inner voice be good? As I expand my curiosity, my understanding, and my relationship with my ability to receive good, I give myself permission to find my own definitions and to feel confident in what feels right for me and to build on that. Receiving good. Receiving good into my body. I am so excited to receive good in my body. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause tapping, take a breath. Now think for a moment about how you felt about tapping, about receiving good before we started and how it feels now. And if you're feeling a difference, an expansion in your body, positive feelings, you're thinking thoughts about it like, I haven't ever thought of that before, then congratulations. It's a really good start of reconnecting and redefining how your subconscious brain is translating your environment. And that's really powerful. So good job. And we are at time, and I don't want to let you go, but I will. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for spending this time with me. Again, I'm always available by email if you have questions. I hope I get to see you next week. But if not, know that there's always a recording that you can revisit later. And I'll be thinking about you. I love you so much. Have a wonderful week. Mwah. Bye.